The pandemic for many of us has equaled trauma, grief, exhaustion, processing the unknown, and an amazing amount of change. But as an optimist, there has been a global pause, an opportunity to do things and look at things and each other and ourselves in different ways. So as we transition into year 3 of the pandemic, what lessons can we take away? So hello, my name's Narelle Lemon. I'm an Associate Professor in Education and an interdisciplinary researcher in wellbeing and self-care at Swinburne University of Technology. Research I carried out during the pandemic on self-care from a flourishing perspective revealed some really interesting insights that I think we can take forward. So data really revealed appreciation for what we have and what we can do differently was a very dominant outcome of thinking about our self-care and well-being during the pandemic. Gratitude and exercising this more authentically and more often was a significant outcome. Making time for those that we care about and embracing new ways to maintain connections was such a strong showcase in terms of the data collected on what wellbeing and self-care can look like during the pandemic. Kindness to self, altruism, and helping others, and the benefits that come from helping others for ourselves and watching the gift that we give to others. More time at home. And what came with that was thinking through, what does family look like, feel like? What does our version of family look like and feel like? And how do we structure time with each other where we're respectful of space and time, but we get to know each other on different levels? And there's nothing like more walks, cooking together, remote learning that has enabled a closeness and a uniqueness to occur. Trying new things was a substantial theme that came from the data when we started to talk with participants about how do we think about self-care during the pandemic. So seeing things as a time to change things up came with that. And most essentially was that many of the participants talked about the pandemic gave the gift to think about self-care, that it is actually not selfish and that it's essential, absolutely essential. And what comes with that is that it's relational, with that we know we need others to motivate us, to support us, to inspire us, to learn from. And in some cases, we need others in order to do an act of self-care or well-being. And most substantially, one of the findings was that self-care and well-being is not an add-on. It shouldn't be an add-on. It is something that we need to do and we need to embrace every day. It may look different, it may feel different, but having a core through line of activities from multiple different areas of wellbeing science that help us be the best we can be is absolutely essential. So wow, major lessons coming from data when we're particularly looking at flourishing, being our best, and what that can look like when we start to think about our self-care and well-being. So as we start to move back to normal or new normal, what does that really mean when we start to think about our self-care? So if we can connect back to self-care being proactive actions that help us to maintain, protect, grow our wellness or happiness, then these findings are incredibly valuable for us. And I'm really optimistic about the interruption, the pause that has come with the pandemic, and then how that positions us about our thoughts about well-being individually but collectively. So we know well-being or happiness needs diversity, and we've been exploring what it means and looks like during the pandemic with ripple effects for our decisions. And so in the spirit of exploring how we can maintain and protect our happiness, well-being and self-care, we need to start to think about what are some new habits that are going to be put forward, be put into place that help you have a positive attitude and outlook on life. How might you show yourself some self-compassion and share your positive thoughts as a way that you can work through change and obstacles and to find your happiness? And what does a global pause enable you to change. Some thoughts to think through as you process what does self-care and well-being look like for you from a flourishing perspective.